Hey there, Tracy here with another video for Love from Lizzie. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this mixed media card, but I'm also leaving in my I changed my mind moments. So in the beginning of the video, you're going to see me making one card, and then all of a sudden I switched to something else. It's just I decided I didn't love it. And I thought, you know what, let me leave this in because I want you to know that you can do that too. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. So today I'm going to just talk to you while you see me put this together, and then I changed my mind. So I did quite a bit of work. This is an infinity shaker, and I used the March 2025 Bugs and Kisses kit from Love from Lizzie. And I've used the sort of iridescent cellophane, and I've used the mesh, and I've used some of the ephemera, and then a dark purple card base. And I have to say, I guess what I didn't love about this is I love the iridescent, but I didn't love it against the purple. I tried to, and in certain angles it looks beautiful, but mostly in the light it kind of looks green, and I'm okay with that, but it was just a little bit too much for me against the purple. It kind of looked brown. So here you see me putting some of these little Love from Lizzie strips on here, anything to try and make, and plus I was just struggling with it, trying to make this mesh stick to the cellophane, and I managed to get it to stick, kind of, but not really. I don't recommend trying to stick mesh to cellophane. So I decided to get that little strip attached first, and then I'll glue this down and wait for the glue to dry. That's the other thing is, you know, if it does dry, it takes a long time. So I just stick my magnets on here, kind of help it sit. And then I cut out the Hello Sweet Friend, which is included in the March 2025 kit. And I had cut that out of the mirror cardstock that was also included. So now I have to decide where I want my sentiments, and I'm just not loving where it's going so far, but I just keep going because I'm always saying to you, friends, don't quit before the miracle, right? You know, don't trust the process, on and on. But the whole time I wasn't necessarily trusting it like I preached. So I'm just not loving this silver right here against the infinity shaker, and inside the shaker are the little butterfly, iridescent butterflies that come in the kit. And I think I'm going to put that there. No, I'm going to put it right next to each other, so I need to scooch this guy over. So luckily that glue doesn't dry too fast. Lay my magnet down on there. We'll get this glued down there. And yeah, this was a full struggle bus for me. Okay, I've got everything glued down. Let's get the little tittle on there. See, try not to drop it in an upside down in the glue. And okay, there we go. So far, so good with the lettering. Yeah, okay. Let's give that a chance to dry here. I'm going to put one of the strips right across the top too, just to kind of help even it out. So sometimes, you know, you're making a card and you've got an idea and it's a great idea, but when it comes together, it just wasn't the best idea. So guess what, friends? You have my permission to take it apart. So see, it shakes. I mean, it's a good shaker. I'm just don't love the color. So I decide to completely dismantle this, and in a moment you'll see the parts that I saved and how I saved them and what I did with them, because I still want to use that beautiful iridescent and I still want to use that mesh. So here's how it looks this way. And so in some lights it still looks purple, but in most lights it kind of looks like a neon green, and no, not happy about that. All right, here we go. So starting over, I've got everything I need, and you can see I've got little butterflies everywhere because when I took it apart, it kind of jerked on me. So I grabbed the green iridescent ribbon, and I left some of the iridescent wrapper around the light bulbs and around the little moths. You can see it's just sticking out a little bit. So I'm turning this into a different kind of mixed media card using just a piece of blue cardstock. I'm going to use these strips again, which are cool. They just look like little waves or little zigzags. And I'm going to place that just on the top and bottom of the piece of card. And I'll just trim off the excess, and I believe there's enough there to fit across the top as well, so I don't have to pull another piece off of the holder thingy, off of the backer. There we go. I'll get those words out. All right, let's get that laid down. And I can see I've got a little butterfly stuck in there. See if I can get that little guy out with my tweezers. Come on out. Oh no, it's just a piece of paper debris. Okay, there we go. Got that part done. And that's a kind of a blue silvery color. And then I've got this deep purple, which is what I started out with. And I'm going to use that as a matte layer. So I'll go ahead and glue this piece down to that one. And it doesn't look like I really even sped anything up, friends. I just kept it real today. Kept it real. Let's get that laid down so we've got that sort of beautiful dark purple border. So the scene is, meant to be dark. Okay, now we'll put this together. And can you see there how I cut out the sweet friend from the mesh so I'd still have the mesh as much as I could salvage? So now I'm just going to make kind of a cluster here. So I'm auditioning how I want this to go. I know I want the light bulbs to go up there, but I think I want them setting against these things. So I'm just going to glue this piece of mesh down. And then I'm going to take this little piece of ribbon and glue it down right to the mesh. I'm going to hold it down for a little bit. Oops, popped up. That's okay. I'll get it back down. I just need something to press against there. So I've got one of my strips backers, and I've just got the soft part, and I set it down with a magnet. Okay, that's good and stuck down. Now I can put down my light bulbs, and that was the idea that I had. And they already have foam tape on them because I had taped it to the cellophane, didn't want to come off. So we're going to go with it and just use the tape that's there. Just adding some liquid glue. And presto, let's get that stuck down. And it's, of course, moving around a lot because it's things on top of things. So you have to be patient with a mixed media card like this. And when I say mixed media, I just mean that there are different things other than just paper and ink. So we've got ribbon, we've got mesh, we've got cellophane. Let's just grab, this is why I love my glass board, because I can stick these magnets down and they'll hold stuff down. But the problem is you know what magnets do, they push up against each other, and I can't get those two to sit so close together without falling over. You see? Yeah. Okay, fine. You're going up here. I'm just going to leave that one alone for a minute. Maybe I'll just press down with my finger a little bit. Give it some time for the glue to set. Now I want to continue to put together the cards. So I've got the little moths. And I decide that the moths need a little bit of edging around them because I cut off the white edges. As you know, I do that with most of my ephemera. And I'm going to be sad when my light bulbs are all gone. They're my favorite part of the ephemera and the moths. There's beautiful butterflies, lanterns, all kinds of stuff. But I especially love these spotted moths. So I'm grabbing my black soot distress ink, and I'm just going to go around the edges here. Kind of get the white off and help kind of make that stand out a little bit more against the background. And I'm not too worried about it against the cellophane because I know it's not going to stick to it. And I left the hello right on the moth here because it was glued down, so there was really no choice. If you make a card you don't love, salvage it. Take it apart and use the parts. Now I can decide how I want these things to go, and I think that I want that moth to tuck up underneath that light bulb a little bit. And as you notice, I've got already foam tape under my cellophane here, because again, I couldn't take it off without ripping the ephemera. So I just decided to improvise, and I actually like the look of this card. I like the kind of ripped up look of all the shiny and sparkle. I don't know, it's just an interesting way to handle this. So let's go ahead and get this moth glued down. And I want him to come up under that light bulb a little bit and make sure that the hello is straight. And just kind of make sure that I get this positioned how I want it. So there's a lot of holding things down here. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. Just making sure nothing moves before I move on to the next step. Because moths would be drawn to a flame. And it looks like I actually used chipped sapphire to edge that. Okay. And then I've got my sweet friend, and I'm just going to add that directly down. And it's, you know, its little shadow layer is that little mesh. And I just want to make sure it's stuck to a good spot. And then you're going to see me salvage some of those butterflies. So when they're tiny, and when you drop glitter or tiny things like that on a silicone mat like you see here, friends, they are hard to pick up. I lost most of them because I had to shake the thing out. I had to pick it up off of there and shake it out. And yeah. But you'll see in the end I salvage as many as I can to put directly onto the card. Okay, so we just want that to stick down. Let's get a little bit, maybe let's get our magnet. No, I think it's going to be okay. There's enough paper sticking through there that the paper's sticking to the paper, to the backer piece. So here's all my little butterflies. And so I'm just going to lay glue down where I want some, and I'm just going to kind of grab them best I can with my picker tool. And they're hard to grab with the picker tool too sometimes on that silicone. They just want to stick to the silicone. And I'm not too concerned about having a lot of glue here because this glue does dry clear. So I'm just kind of placing them one at a time in the spots that it's going to be hard to make them stick. Got one there on that little ribbon. And then let's put some on the light bulb. So they could be tiny little moth babies, but they're butterflies. But they're shiny and sparkly, and that's the name of the game on this card. That's what I was going for when I made the shaker and ended up not loving it. So I'm going to add a few over here, kind of balance it out. Because although, kind of if you look at the rule of thirds, I'm all over the place on this one, but my very top most things, the little things the lights are hanging from, those are centered. So right in the middle of those is the center of the card, and I've just sort of built around that. Okay, let's get one down right here. Let's see, where else do I want some? Okay, I'm going to get a couple over here just because I want to grab as many as I can that I didn't drop either on the floor or, yeah. So that's the other lesson, friends. If you made a shaker and you didn't love it and you took it apart, try and take it apart over like one of your little tidy trays or something so that you can salvage most of the innards, especially if you're going to make another shaker, which I didn't because I used all my cellophane on my first shaker. But I'm much happier with the cellophane in small amounts like we're seeing here. Let's see, maybe just a couple little ones over here, little strays. Card's just about finished. I know this is a bit different video for me. I've got nothing really sped up except for the beginning where I started to make my shaker and kept some of the footage because I realized I'd lost some of the footage. Yeah, it was crazy. But I did want you to see what you can do. And even, you know, if you have a card that you made months ago and you never really loved it, take it apart and remake it. Recycle those parts. And there we go. Finally. Just making sure nothing's moving, making sure I have enough butterflies on there. Yep, I think I want a little one down over here. Okay. And there we go. We have our card. Hello, sweet friend. We've got all that shine and sparkle, so I'm super happy with that. Making sure I rub any excess glue off of my silvery cardstock. All right, let me put this up against a different color piece of paper so you can see the colors a little bit better. I'm just trying to grab a piece of paper here. I almost forgot to put it on a card base. So I'm going to put this down on a light purple card base so that I don't have to put any kind of middle in it. You can still see if you write on that. And I'm just going to glue it directly down. No big deal. I adore this purple of this dark card base. Such a pretty purple. It's kind of a plum purple. There we go. Now it's actually on a card base, so you can actually see it as a card. A lot of times I don't put my cards on card bases until I'm ready to send them so that I can store them easier. So now, and we've had a chance for the glue to dry and everything's stuck down nicely. We've got this little cellophane sticking out, this little piece of ribbon. That little piece right there just keeps wanting to come unstuck, so I'm going to add a little bit more glue. And this was a Struggle Buzz card. Not that it was hard work, just that nothing wanted to work. Okay, so I leave my magnet on there until it dries. And it doesn't typically take terribly long. I think I'm using art glitter glue. I just want to make sure that's good and stuck down. Let it dry a little bit more. And then I'm going to show it to you up against a piece of paper, which is what I intended earlier. And I did this video several days ago, and then I got sick. And so I had to wait to do my voiceover. So remembering what I did, see, I'm still fussing with that little piece of string right there, which isn't even string, it's silver cardstock. But there's the card finish. I hope you like it. If you do like it, give me a thumbs up. How about you? Have you ever taken apart a card to try and fix it later? Or fix it right away? Or do you leave them? Or do you just throw them away? Anyway, that's the end of my video. Here's a couple of still photos of the card. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.